It is the last week of our Media Day recap coverage. We did the Big 12. We've done the SEC. We've done the ACC. Now, the last week of July is upon us. We are rocking and rolling with the Big 10. Part one today on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon of Big 10 Media Day recaps. We have a full slate this week. We have 6 teams today, which is Tuesday, because last week was the same time as ACC Media Days was Big 10 Media Days. So we're kind of a week behind technically, but we got all the info. We're going to give you my thoughts on each of the 18 teams in the Big 10. 6 teams today, and then Thursday we're going to do 12 teams. So we're going to do 12 teams on Thursday, 6 teams today, just like we did with the ACC Media Days. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon, episode 241 of Pigskin Frenzy. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, listening on Podbean, or listening on Apple, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Tuesday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some college football coverage and some Media Day coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you have to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram, at Pigskin_Frenzy. Follow up the pages there. You're going to get episode updates and news and highlights from across college football. Trivia questions on Instagram stories. Go and answer today's college football question, as well as all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, the website's www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. There you will find all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy. Home and About Me page. Learn more about me as your podcast host. There's contact info down below. Name, email, and questions. I'll answer it on air or off air if need be. There's also platforms, affiliations, and stores pages on the website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Rocking and rolling with some Big 10 Media Day recaps. I'm so excited. I'm ready to rock and roll. I am fired up for this one. 6 teams today, 12 teams on Thursday, 5,000 plus and counting. About to be at 5,100 listeners and counting. A big thank you for tuning in each and every Tuesday and Wednesday for Pigskin Frenzy. We couldn't do this show without you guys, and most importantly, we couldn't do this show without our Lord and Savior, Jesus. We give him all the praise and glory for giving us this platform to do this show. So we give him all the praise and glory for this show. Guys, Big 10 Media Day recaps. 6 teams today, like I said. Then we're going to end it with 12 teams, and then we're going to wrap up our month of Media Day recap. We're in the last week of July, so which means August, it's college football time, and we are so fired up for that. And next Tuesday, episode 243, because today is 241, Thursday will be 242. Next Tuesday, the August 5th edition of Pigskin Frenzy, the first Tuesday and the first Pigskin Frenzy of August of 2025. We have a very special edition and special guest coming on the show. We have Yahoo senior sports writer and senior reporter and author of Iron in the Blood, Jay Busby, coming on to talk about his new book that is being sold nationwide in late August. And we're going to talk about Iron in the Blood, the rivalry between the Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn. Jay Busby coming on Pigskin Frenzy next Tuesday. We're so excited to have him on. A very special edition of Pigskin Frenzy coming up next Tuesday, August 5th, episode 243. But this is episode 241. I just wanted to put that out there. Make sure you tune in next Tuesday. It's a big one. You cannot miss it. This time, though, we're ready to rock and roll with some Big 10 Media Days and some Media Day recap coverage. Part 1 of Big 10 Media Day recap coverage. Only 6 teams that we're doing, and we're going to kick it off with the Illini, Illinois, a sleeper team, kicking things off of our recaps to start off our Media Day coverage or recap coverage for the Big 10. Illinois last year won 10-plus games. They won the Citrus Bowl. They ended up beating Shane Beamer and South Carolina in the Citrus Bowl. But how about Luke Altmaier at quarterback for this team? He showed up with Brett Bielema today for Big 10 Media, or last Tuesday rather, for Big 10 Media Days, and we were just excited. We were excited to see it, and we were excited to how confident he was, and excited to how confident Illinois was on that stage. Brett Bielema was excited about this season. They're bringing back a lot of production. And Luke Altmaier is very confident in how he can command the offense this year. He thinks he's gained even more experience, and I believe that. I believe that he's gained a lot more experience since last year as well. Luke Altmaier is a solid quarterback in the Big Ten, and he's a threat, to my opinion, in the Big Ten, and teams need to watch out for him in the Big Ten this year. So they bring J.C. Davis from the offensive line and Xavier Scott from the defensive backs and the secondary with them as well. Bielema is confident in his team. He's confident that they can pull a little bit of what they did last year and make it even better, and they can compete for a Big Ten title this year. My overall thoughts on Illinois and my Media Day recap on Illinois as well. I just think that, to me, I think for Illinois, and this is according to, this is per Joel Klatt, who does Fox Big Noon kickoff games, and who announces for Fox. Joel Klatt on his podcast, The Joel Klatt Show. Shout out, and all credit goes to him. He says that Illinois can be this year's Indiana, which means last year Indiana had a solid season, and we're going to get to Indiana here in a little bit, had a solid season last year. Illinois can be this year's Indiana, and I believe that as well. I mean, Indiana only lost one game. Illinois could be that team. They could be that 10-2, 11-1 type team that makes the playoffs this year. And I believe that. I think the Illini is that good. They got the talent on both sides of the ball. I think on the line of scrimmage, they can compete, and they are tough and physical on the line of scrimmage. And what I saw and evaluated from their spring, heading into Media Day, and now heading into the fall, and how they spoke during Media Day, I sense a very strong confidence in them that they can compete with just about anybody in this conference. And I think they can. I am buying into Illinois. I'm buying into the Illini this year. I'm all in Champaign, and I think Brett Bielema is doing a heck of a job as head coach there. And the way he spoke with confidence there. I was really, really pleased with how their Media Day went and how they carried themselves. They carried themselves not really just as a sleeper team, but as a top 5 team in the Big Ten. And I really believe that. They're going to compete for a Big Ten title this year. I put them at 5 on our conference standing projections list. I'm not going to sit there and say that they are going to be in the Big Ten title game, but in Indianapolis, but I will say that they have a shot at being at least competitive and competing and trying to be in the hunt for one at least this year. So my overall thoughts and my Media Day recap of Illinois is that I think they are a solid team. They got the quarterback, they got the offensive line, they got the defensive line. The secondary is led by Xavier Scott, is pretty deep. So watch out for Illinois and what they got going on. I believe in the Illini, and I think they have a shot at making things happen. So watch out for the Illini. That's all I got to say. Watch out for the Fighting Illini. That's my Illinois Media Day. That's my Media Day recap. Big Ten Media Day recap for Illinois. Let's move on to Indiana. Last year, Kirk Cignetti entering his second season as football head coach of this team, and in his first season, he went to the college football playoff. Indiana went 11-1 last year. 11-2 if you count the playoff loss to Notre Dame in the first round. But they made the college football playoff in his first season as head football coach. That is crazy, right? And he was confident. Kirk Cignetti said last year, Google me, I win. And he sure did. He did win a lot last year. He's looking to replicate that and kind of duplicate what he did last year and copy. And let me just put it this way. He's looking to copy and paste what he did last year to this year, but maybe add on a few new edits, right? And do a little bit better than he did last year. Maybe hoist a national championship trophy, win a Big Ten title, who knows? But Curtis Rourke is gone. Enter Fernando Mendoza at quarterback for this team. Kirk Cignetti's confident in where they can be. He wasn't really that confident in the spring. So when I was evaluating them and doing the spring results before Media Day, like in the spring, they seemed kind of, okay, they needed to get better and they needed to improve on some areas. The same kind of motion that I got from Kirk Cignetti was a little bit during the Media Day, but he's excited and confident about his team. He's confident that the Hoosiers can compete with just about anybody in the Big Ten as well, and he's confident that they can go out and try to, do what they did again this season, but even better. So Kirk Cignetti, nothing short of confidence this year, confident in his quarterback with Fernando Mendoza. And he's confident, and he's confident with, his team that he's got. He's got some playmakers on offense as well, including a man that showed up with him to Big Ten Media Day in Vegas, and it was Elijah Surratt. Elijah Surratt, one of the most underrated threats in the Big Ten at wide receiver. I think he's one of the best in the Big Ten. I'm not going to say he's the best. I'm going to get to who's the best in the Big Ten, but he's at least top 5 nonetheless. I think that he is going to be a problem for defenses and how they read him. He's confident in Fernando Mendoza. He said that. He's confident in his team, and he's confident in what the Hoosiers can do on offense this year. And then the defense, you got Aiden Fisher at linebacker who shut up as well. He's confident in what the defense can do as well. He's excited about the linebacker spot this year and the room that he is in when it comes to the linebackers. They bolster up their O-line, and that was a bit of a thing that they needed to do during the offseason through the portal, and they did that. And Kirk Cinetti was really, really pleased with that as well. My overall thoughts on the Media Day recap from Indiana and what I got from Indiana from their Media Day is the big questions really that needed to be answered. They were answered some, but not all the way. I think Kirk Cinetti is a man that he talks, but he really has that itch to back it up on the field, if that makes sense. He talks a lot. Yes, he does talk some trash, but it's one of those things where he wants to back it up on the field. And the thing is, last year he did back it up on the field. Can they back it up on the field this season, and can they be a lot better? Fernando Mendoza does fit Kirk Cinetti's system. He fits what they're looking for there. The offensive line's good. They got a dynamic playmaker in Elijah Surratt at the receiving position. Can they produce, and can they compete and win some ball games, right? So we're going to see. I'm confident in Indiana. I think Indiana's got what it takes to, I wouldn't say, I don't know if they're going to go to the college ball playoff this year or not. Who knows? But I think they got enough in them, enough talent on their team to win some ball games and most likely make a bowl game too. So we're going to see how it goes. I got a hint of confidence from them in their media day. So, I mean, my overall thoughts from them in the media day was, like I said, just a sense of confidence, just a hint and a tint of confidence. Not too much, not too much, not too little, if that makes sense. It's just a kind of a balance of in between in confidence for me. But that's just my overall thoughts in Indiana and what I think and how I recap their media day. We're just 12 minutes in and we're already 2 teams down. But that is my thoughts and overall feelings on Indiana, and that was my media day recap for Indiana. Next up on the list, third team on the list who spoke on Tuesday, July 22nd, it was Maryland. Mike Locksley, a team that is entering the hot seat. I put them really kind of lower in the totem pole when it comes to the Big Ten Conference standing projections. I just think that Mike Locksley, kind of like I said this last Thursday on ACC Part 2 Media Day recaps with Virginia Tech. This is the same situation, but in the Big Ten with Maryland. I think that Mike Locksley is in a pressured type season, and I think he's entering this Media Day knowing that he is in a pressure type situation this season. I think this season is a very pressured season. I think that, to me, and this is just my thoughts, I feel like Maryland is in a scenario when you look at them, they're like, oh man, we probably got to win some ball games. You got solid playmakers on defense who he brought with him. Defensive back Jalen Husky and linebacker Daniel Wingate with them at the defensive spot. They do have some guys and some studs on defense. So defensively, Maryland can be a lot better this year, and I believe in that. But offensively, it was a lot left to be desired last year. They could be a lot better on offense. And I think there are some key things and question marks for Maryland entering the media day that Mike Locksley could have answered. And he just really wants to show it on the field. And I agree with that. So Mike Locksley, he says that this season can be a breakout season for them, and he can shock a lot of people in the Big Ten. Not shying away from any confidence. And not shying away from his terrapins. So my honest thoughts on Maryland, and this is just, my whole media day recap and the vibe that I got from Locksley and company for Maryland. I feel like they walked in and they did speak well in their media day. And overall, they sounded great. All the players sounded good. They sounded high and positive about the upcoming season in 2025. But I think he does sound like that there's a little bit of pressure against him this season. And I believe that. I think Mike Locksley is on the hot seat entering the 2025 season. I'm just going to flat out say it. I think that. Now, people who hear me at Maryland are going to sit and say, This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's kind of, just go back and watch. I think he is on the hot seat. Last season wasn't the best season. And it was the bowl game stretch ended for them, and it was just like, okay, well, it's just one of those things when you look at Mike Locksley in Maryland, it's just they keeps getting a little bit worse and worse bit by bit, and that's not what you want. I like Mike Locksley. I am a guy. I'm a Mike Locksley guy. I do believe in him as a head coach. He's been at Maryland for a minute, and I believe that he needs to turn it around, and I have confidence that he can turn it around. But will he turn it around? Tough schedule, and he's got to go out there and win those ball games and outcoach to compete. I believe that in this media day, and the vibe and the sense that I got was a pressured-filled season and a little bit of pressure heading into this season. So that's my overall thoughts on Maryland. That's my media day recap for Maryland. I just feel like I get that sense of pressure from them heading in to the 2025 season. So overall, that's my thoughts on Maryland, and that's my media day recap for Maryland. Guys, keep plugging into Pigskin Frenzy, all platforms, and 5,000 listeners and counting. Keeps going up, man. I'm so excited about keeping on doing these media day recaps each and every season, and just keeping on doing this show each and every week. This is the last week of media day recaps, the last week of July as we enter the college ball season in 2025 for August, and I am so pumped, guys. I'm just so excited. So let's move on and let's talk about, because we got three more teams on tap, and we're going to talk about Nebraska. Matt Rule, man. Matt Rule entering his second season as Nebraska head coach. Won 7 games last year. Made it to a bowl game. Won 7 games last year. And they looked good. They really did. They looked good last season, and they can even look better this year. Matt Rule believes in the Cornhuskers. He is changing that trajectory. They're changing the program around, and he is nothing short but confident in his team this year. Dylan Raiola at quarterback for this team, sophomore entering this season, will start for them, and quite frankly, Matt Rule is confident that he's going to be a lot more sharp and a lot better this year, than he was last year, which is good. You always want, like I said on the previous episodes, you always want to be confident in your quarterback entering these media days and entering the 2025 season. He had nothing but praise for Dylan Raiola. He thinks that the questions that are going to be answered on offensive line will be there. He thinks that he picked up he picked up some talent through the portal, and he's excited about how they can be utilized in this team, and he's really excited about the upcoming season to show what he can do in his second year as head coach. And I believe that I believe the confidence is there. I believe that Nebraska is going to be a lot more confident. I believe that they're in the top 10. They're number 10 on my list in the Big Ten Conference standing projection. So Dylan Raiola was nothing short but confident as well on how he can take control and command of that offense. And he's excited about Cornhuskers football and how they can compete in the Big Ten this year. So how they spoke, and this is my overall thoughts on Nebraska and Matt Rule and how they presented themselves at Big Ten Media Days last Tuesday. I believe that they are a team that is another sleeper team. You're going to think, really? Yeah, I believe that's another sleeper team on our list. You can circle moment, mark it down. Circle moments aren't until college football season, so we'll wait until the circle moments happen. But we can write it down and do the pigskin circle moment there. But I believe that Nebraska can be a sleeper team heading into 2025. Dylan Raiola can be, or people will call him Patrick Mahomes Jr. as a joke, but he can compete amongst everyone. He could go in Nebraska with Dylan Raiola being a lot more sharp and a lot sharper than he was last year. This team can be a lot better and compete for a Big Ten title. I believe Matt Rule is going to bring and make this team a little bit more physical this year and bring a lot more toughness to this team. And a lot of teams are going to have to go out there and compete in Lincoln, Nebraska against this team. And I believe that the way they spoke about this team, it really does get you excited and intrigued to watch Nebraska football this year. So overall, my thoughts on Nebraska from this media day are that I believe that they can be a sleeper team, and that the way they spoke about it makes me even believe that they have a shot at, surprising some teams and being a lot more competitive this season. So overall, that's my thoughts on Nebraska entering the entering the 2025 season, and that's my Big Ten Media Day recap for Nebraska. And that is really all I got, honestly, on them. They're really tough. They look really, really good. They look good in the spring. They seem tough. Dylan Raiola seems to be a little bit confident in his team. So Matt Rule seems to be confident in his team, and I'm excited to see what they do. So that's my Media Day recap for Nebraska. And shout out to Ndamukong Suh. A couple of weeks ago, he did retire. It was July 12th when he retired. I know it's not July 12th anymore. It is July 29th. But shout out to Ndamukong Suh, and shout out to him. He retired from the NFL and retired from professional football. So Nebraska legend Ndamukong Suh, shout out to him. We dedicate this one to him. So good defensive tackle, one of the all-time Nebraska greats. So shout out to him, and hopefully he has a good and successful career in retirement. I grew up watching him, so very interesting that I just had to bring that up, and I thought about that when I was talking about Nebraska football there. So last but not, not last but not least, but two more teams, and then I'll give you my thoughts on who I was confident in for that Tuesday, and then we'll move on to Thursday for Big Ten Media Day recap part 2 for 12 teams that go round. But we got Ohio State on tap, the defending national champions. Ryan Day not shying away from this season, not shying away that he is a defending national champion, that he is among the third active coaches who are national champions, with Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney being the other two. And he's not shying away from this season. He's confident in this season. He's confident in his team. He's not talking about the quarterback situation right now with Lincoln Kineholtz and Julian Sayin, but he did bring a couple of guys that are studs. He brought Jeremiah Smith, in my opinion. Well, not really my opinion. I think this is fact, but I think he's the best wide receiver in the Big Ten. Probably the best wide receiver in the country, but best wide receiver in the Big Ten, no doubt. When you see Jeremiah Smith, you run. And then you got probably one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in college football and in the Big Ten, with Caleb Downs with them as well. They lose a lot from last year's team, and he knows that. He knows that it comes with a rebuild. Winning a whole national championship like that, he knows it comes with a rebuild, and he's excited about the challenge of this season. And he's excited about the overall scheme of things coming into this season with Brian Hartline as offensive coordinator, Matt Patricia as defensive coordinator now, replacing Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles on the coordinator spots. He's excited about how this team can translate, and he's excited about how that he feels like they can make another run at it this season with the team that he's got. So Ryan Day, nothing short of a confidence in his football team, and Jeremiah Smith is really confident in his quarterbacks. He's confident in his offense. Caleb Downs, same. He's confident in Matt Patricia, defensive coordinator, and he's confident in his coaches that the defense can step up and get the job done this year as well. So Ohio State, nothing short but confidence as they were speaking at Media Day. So my overall thoughts on Ohio State during Media Day, and going from a national championship, I think there is going to be some setbacks, right? You lose a lot of guys from that national championship team, and I mean a lot of talent, but you still get two good receivers, number one, Jeremiah Smith, and number 2, Carnell Tate. Julian Sayin, to me, most likely will be the starting quarterback for this team. And then you get also Caleb Downs at the safety spot back, which is also really, really good for this team. You have a lot of good pieces on the O-line and a lot of good pieces on the defense as well. I think the defense is needs to step up in the physicality department. That's what I saw from the spring. But the vibe that I got was really, really, really positive and really strong that they can go out there and compete and try to make another run at another national title and at a Big Ten title. But here's the thing that could set them back. One, I think the questions that need to be answered, and I really wanted to hear from Media Day, but didn't really get to it, is number one, physicality on the defensive side of things. And on the line of scrimmage, but also quarterback-wise, I wanted to hear from that. But at the same time, I really wanted to get a sense of how they can compete with losing the two coordinators and trying to rebound from everything. And just the transition period of replacing everything and replacing everyone, because there's a lot of turnover from Ohio State. A lot of people are not really discussing that, but they should be. A lot of turnover from Ohio State. So it's one of those things where I think that needed to be discussed a little bit more. I believe that going into this season, it's a little bit of pressure because, I mean, I'm not trying to knock on wood here, but knock on wood, elephant in the room, and I think that this really needs to be talked about, and it will most likely be talked about on their side of things, is the Michigan game. I think trying to beat Michigan and trying to compete against them is the number one goal for Ryan Day going into this season. I think that he's won a national championship, he's won a Big Ten title in 2019, right? But I think getting to a place where, okay, I've only beaten Michigan once since I've been the head coach there, and it was 2019. 2021, 2, 3, and now 4, we have lost to Michigan. Now we're going to 2025. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a 4-game. They can make it 5 this year. They could possibly make it 5 this year if we do not focus on it. I think that's a central mission this year, is to win the game and to compete against them. I think that should be the sole focus. It's a rivalry game, and it means more than people know. So I think that's the sole purpose right now for Ohio State, and that should be one of the sole purposes, at least, besides trying to claim another national championship, but try to compete against Michigan. So I think that's the overall thoughts and feelings that I got from Media Day. They are confident, but I did wish that I could hear a little bit more on some certain topics and some certain things from Ohio State. So that was my Media Day recap for Ohio State, and what my overall thoughts on them as well. So last but not least, before we give you my total thoughts, and then we wrap up everything for Pigskin Frenzy, is let's discuss Rutgers football before we conclude today's episode of Pigskin Frenzy. Let me go and tell you something about Greg Schiano, dude. Greg Schiano is actually recruiting pretty well at Rutgers, doing some good things at Rutgers, winning some ball games, and he's turning Rutgers into a low-key, more of a winning program than a lot of people realize. So I think to me, Rutgers is a low-key of a sleeper team in terms of winning games and being competitive in these ball games. Do I think they're going to, win the whole thing? No, but they are right outside the top 10, at least at 12 or 13 on our conference standing projections list, because of some of the talent that they got on their team. Athen Kalaiakamanis is back at quarterback for them. Greg Schiano was confident that Athen Kalaiakamanis can be a sleeper quarterback and be a very solid playmaker for this offense. He's excited about playing Rutgers football, and the Scarlet Knights can be a team that can go out there and upset and compete and surprise some teams this year. You got wide receiver Ian Strong with him as well on the offense, who's made some good plays as well. So he's back for the team as well. So my overall thoughts on Rutgers as we wind down and conclude everything is, I would not sleep on Rutgers. I think it's a team that when you look at them, you're going to, and I may make a reel out of this, surprisingly. I honestly would not step on Greg Schiano's toes a little bit. He is quietly confident. I'm not going to sit there and say that he is, okay, we're going to full on just be cocky and we're going to go out there and beat everybody. He's confident for the right reasons, and I really wouldn't take Rutgers lightly. I think when you go and play Rutgers this season, you might have a game on your hands. That's the overall vibe that I got from this Media Day. They're confident in themselves, and I believe that with the way they're recruiting and the way they're actually doing here recently, I think Rutgers has got a shot at, I wouldn't say winning it all or anything like that, but actually start to compete in some of these ball games a little bit more. And I think I'm honestly right for saying that, honestly. But, who knows? We're going to see what happens with Rutgers. But my overall Media Day recap is, I would watch out for Rutgers. I would just, keep an eye on them and see what they can do heading into the 2025 season. That's the vibe that I got from them when they spoke. So that's my overall thoughts on a Rutgers, for my Media Day recap for the Big Ten. And that was really much my Big Ten Media Day recaps. Who I'm confident in from the first day of the Big Ten Media Day recap, those were the 6 teams that spoke. Ohio State, obviously, I'm confident in them. They got the talent. They're the defending national champions. Obviously, I'm confident in them. I just wish I could have heard a little bit more from them. I think I'm confident a little bit, to me, in Illinois and Indiana, and I'm confident in how they can, further themselves, especially Illinois. I believe with the talent that they got, they really can make some big moves and compete for a Big Ten title this year as well. And like I said before, just a minute ago, dude, I wouldn't sleep on Rutgers either. I'm low-key kind of squinting my head and nodding, all right, Rutgers, and just to see what they could do. Watch out for Scarlet Knight football is all I got to say, the way they spoke at Media Day as well. So overall, those are my thoughts. Those are my confidence in how I feel, and those are how I got my confidence in those teams heading into the Big Ten season and the 2025 college football season. We are out of time. That was my Big Ten Media Day recap part 1, and that we are out of time. Guys, a big thank you for tuning in. And just tuning into this beautiful Tuesday afternoon to just sit back, listen, and watch some college football coverage and some Big Ten Media Day recap coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple. All you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X and Instagram at Pigskin_Frenzy. Follow, like the pages there. You're going to get episode updates, news, and highlights from across college and NFL football. Trivia questions on Instagram stories. Go and answer today's college football question, as well as all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy. College football updates on there as well. Guys, the website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Guys, a big thank you for tuning in to each and every Tuesday. You're just listen to some college football coverage presented by me. We will be back Thursday with the conclusion of Big Ten Media Days and Big Ten Media Day Recap Part 2, Episode 242 on Thursday. Next Tuesday, big episode on tap, the first August episode of Pigskin Frenzy. Next Tuesday, big special edition episode. We have Yahoo senior writer and senior reporter Jay Busby, author of his new book, Iron in the Blood, the Iron Bowl, talking about the Iron Bowl and the rivalry between Alabama and Auburn in the book, and we're going to discuss that book, to talk about that and discuss everything going on there. Cannot wait for Jay Busby to appear on the show. We're excited. I'm fired up. He is going to be a very, very fun-filled guest coming up next Tuesday. That's next Tuesday, but Thursday is Big Ten Media Day Recap Part 2. Guys, thank you for tuning in each and every Tuesday and Thursday. 5,000 plus listeners and counting. About to be at 5,100. And we could not do this show without you. We just could not do this show without you guys. And most importantly, we couldn't do this show without our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We give him all the glory and praise for Pigskin Frenzy, for giving us the platform to spread his name and to talk about him on this show. Not just college football, but most importantly, Jesus himself. And if you want to come to know Jesus, it's the best decision you can ever make in your life. Contact me below on the link tree. You can go there and click on it, and you can see my X and Instagram at Pigskin_Frenzy on X and Instagram. And you also have the website www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. Contact info down below, name, email, and you can comment down below there. I will get to you. You can talk to me about coming to know Jesus. It's the best decision you can ever make in your life. We give him all the praise and glory for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, we are so thankful for you guys. And until Thursday's edition of Pigskin Frenzy, I am Joel Norris signing off. We will see you then for the conclusion of Media Day Recap coverage and Big Ten Media Day Recap Part 2. Until Thursday, Joel Norris signing off. We're praying for you all. We love you all. As always, stay the course.